cold front will gradually drift southward across the Dakotas and Minnesota. Along and ahead of that front, higher dew points will begin to pool up. That'll help bring scattered thunderstorms across the region over the next few days. And while there is the possibility of some of these storms being strong to severe, the relative lack of upper-level winds will limit any organized severe activity. That could change this weekend as a couple of upper-level disturbances move across our region, and that will bring at least a possibility of some organized severe thunderstorms. Welcome to Region Weather Live, your YouTube source for weather across the Dakotas and Minnesota. I am meteorologist Brad Warner, and yes, we do have a little bit of a cold front that's going to be sitting over the northern parts of our region that's going to very gradually drift southward throughout the day on Tuesday. You can see it kind of begins to slip southward as these storms kind of develop and cool off some of the temperatures across central parts of North Dakota and western North Dakota as well. And I'll get into that a little bit later, but you can watch how these winds come out of the north here and a little bit out of the east, a little bit further south, and how that changes through time. And of course, as that front continues to sag southward, that's going to continue to bring the chance of some scattered rain and thunderstorms across the area over the next couple of days. If you notice along and out ahead of the frontal boundary, you see these higher dew points in the 60s. And that will help aid in the development of some of these thunderstorms. Now, we are expected to have at least some decent CAPE values around 1,500 to 2,000 joules per kilogram, and that's considered pretty good in the realm of strong to severe weather. So there will be the possibility, at least for the day on Tuesday. And then again, as we get into Wednesday, a little bit further south as that front continues to sag southward and holds more of the higher dew points and warmer temperatures a little bit further to the south. That'll mean those higher CAPE values will also remain kind of more into South Dakota and southern parts of Minnesota. So that's kind of where the threat for severe weather will be mostly on Wednesday. Now, with all that said, there's just not a lot of upper level support. You see the wind barbs here, 15, 20 knots, up at the 500 millibar level, up at the 15,000 feet. Just not very impressive when we're talking about the possibility of severe storms. What will be out there, while the dew points will be higher, there will be some warmer temperatures. There's a cold front moving through. Unfortunately, given the continued lack of upper level support when it comes to the winds, you'll probably more likely see some stronger storms with maybe an isolated severe report here and there. All right, so where are we looking at exactly? All right, for Tuesday, here's just kind of what the model guidance is showing. These storms begin to really pop up later in the afternoon and into the evening hours on Tuesday. Of course, as that the daytime temperatures kind of help things get going. And so you can see these areas of storms across the Dakotas and then across northern parts of Minnesota. Now, it looks like, if anything, the best chance for some strong to possibly an isolated severe would be some of these areas across northern and central parts of North Dakota later in the day on Tuesday and into the evening. Maybe an isolated strong storm into central South Dakota. But I think mostly the higher CAPE values and the just the better, a little better lift actually will be a little bit further to the north. As we get into the evening hours, we continue to see those showers and storms continue on. Once we get kind of past that 9 and 10 p.m. time frame, most of those storms will begin to decrease in intensity, and probably what you're going to be left with is mainly some showers by midnight, with maybe a few rumbles of thunder across northern parts of Minnesota Tuesday night and into the very early parts of Wednesday morning. Now we kind of reset again. Here we are Wednesday morning right around 9 a.m. and we're still left with a few showers and maybe a few thunderstorms as well, mainly across the eastern Dakotas and into parts of Minnesota. It's going to be very scattered or to widely scattered at that. And then again, once the temperatures begin to warm up, the activity will increase a little bit more, and it looks like we've got the chance, at least for some strong to maybe some severe storms entering into central parts of South Dakota later in the afternoon, Wednesday into Wednesday evening. Then also a few storms popping up across southern parts of Minnesota and into Wisconsin. Now, perhaps the one thing that this model really doesn't show very well is the fact that we do have this low sitting out here. We've got plenty of humidity sitting out there, as well as we have dew points in the mid to upper 60s there, right around 70 as well. That's going to be possible across southern Minnesota on Wednesday. So even though it's really not showing a whole lot when it comes to the amount of storms that are expected, I think we're probably going to increase at least the chance a little bit across southern parts of Minnesota for at least having a little more widespread activity, and also the possibility of some strong to maybe some severe storms late Wednesday into Wednesday evening. And taking a look at just a little bit different model here, you do see some of these storms develop more into Wisconsin into the evening hours after probably about 6 or 7 p.m. But I would extend this back, like I just said, a little bit further back and just include some of these areas down in southern Minnesota just because that dew point is so high, that low pressure sitting right there. So I think the possibility at least is there. But nevertheless, it'll be something we'll keep our eye on into Wednesday and just see exactly how some of the stuff is developing. So we will have the chance of some scattered showers in the morning on Thursday. And then as we get a little later in the day, possibly developing into a few thunderstorms across parts of South Dakota, mainly across the west and southern portions of the state. Now, as you get a little bit later in the night, Thursday night into early Friday morning, you notice some extra development into southeastern parts of South Dakota late in the night. And again, like I said, into early Friday morning. And that's because it wants to develop a low-level jet into that area. And we'll see if that actually does develop the way the forecast is set right now. And of course, if it does, then these storms will develop into southeastern parts of South Dakota. But that, again, that's just something we'll kind of keep an eye on as we get into Thursday night and into Friday morning. Now, once we get into the weekend, we have a few disturbances that kind of run into our area. You notice the winds begin to pick up just a little bit as we get into Saturday, and then a little more so as you get into Sunday as a deeper system quickly rolls eastward across our region. So that could mean a little bit more organized activity, some of it of which could be severe. And you can see the possibility of some storms developing late in the day on Friday into parts of Montana and moving eastward through the overnight hours Friday night and into Saturday morning. And then again, we kind of reset the stage a little bit maybe for Saturday, and a few more storms begin to develop. And then once we get into Sunday, a little bit more of the same, where the storm's probably going to be a little bit more into Minnesota, where some of that organized activity could be. Again, this is very early. We're talking way out there. A lot of this could change, but just a little bit just to give you an idea how it looks like there's a possibility, at least by the weekend, to get at least some organized activity, some of which could be severe. All right, real quick look at the temperature forecast over the next few days. It look like for Tuesday, it's going to be mainly 80s to around 90 into South Dakota. For Wednesday, as that cold front begins to slip a little bit southward, the temperatures are going to be, highs are going to be in the 70s in the north, to 80s to near 90 across the south. And then for Thursday, once again, that front slips just a little bit further, 70s across Minnesota, North Dakota, a few 80s left into South Dakota. Then once we get into Friday, things begin to rebound a little bit more 80s into South Dakota and North Dakota as well. Still mid 70s to near 80 across Minnesota. And then by Saturday, a little more of the same, 80s across South Dakota, upper 70s to near 80s across Minnesota and North Dakota. And it looks like Sunday, pretty similar still. 80s, maybe some 80s in South Dakota, but generally 70s to near 80s. So pretty comfortable temperatures, really, once we get into the later part of the week, once that cold front moves south. So there you go. Some storms moving through. A few could be strong, maybe an isolated severe late in the afternoon into the early evening hours, but really nothing organized until possibly this weekend. And again, it's just something we're going to have to just keep our eye on and see how things develop and see how the models adjust once we get closer to the weekend. But at least that's kind of what it's looking like for now. So as always, please hit the like button, hit the thumbs up button. I would appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. I do weather exclusively for the Dakotas and Minnesota, and I'm also on live during severe weather events, so you're not going to want to miss that. Make sure you subscribe and hit the little bell button down below. For Region Weather Live, I am meteorologist Brad Warner. Everybody have a good day.